Hi, this is Sean, and in this lesson we're going to talk about how to improvise when the chords feel like they're going by really quickly and they're very different to each other. So we'll use a small section, a turnaround on Misty, to illustrate this. And if you'd like to do more improvising in your playing, and consider joining us on Jazz Skills. Meanwhile, please do give us a like and a subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. It's really helping us grow here and do more of this for you. Let's get straight into the lesson. We're going to talk about quick chord changes. Let's take Misty for this one. Let's figure out what we can do on quick chord changes like these: G7, C7, F7, B7. They often catch people out. There are a few things you can do on areas like this. I think a really good thing is to just practice chord tones. For example, a lot of people talk about playing chord tones and never really get anywhere because their playing ends up like this. So that is, yes, it is one thing that you can do and should do, obviously, to familiarize yourself with those chords. And so if you can join these two descends, one ascends, one descends, one has a half step, something like that, you can do more with them. So for example, yeah, quite like that. So on the G7, I've gone all the way up to the 2 on 9 and gone from the 3rd, right? Then I've looked at it and thought, well, what are the nearest C7 notes to there? Well, they are either B flat or G, right? So I'm going to go up the G7, down the C7. Nothing fancy about that. That's just the 5 downwards, right? And look what's happened. We've set ourselves up beautifully to play the same phrase on F7 from the 3rd. And the descending 5th of B flat 7, descending like that, which is going to take us back home. So yes, it is quite exercisey, but we're going to turn it into music. I mean, that's not bad in itself, to be honest. That's okay. Let's see what we can do with it. Okay, here it comes. See, even if you're accompanying a couple of inversions with that chord notes is fine. If it's a bit quicker and you've got more to say, cut off the first note if it's quicker. Let's say it's here. So I'll have already it's starting to become more musical, right? What about this time if I add an extra note at the beginning instead of cutting one off? Like this. What if I put 2 extra notes at the beginning? Just at the beginning, very beginning, right? What about now I'm starting to get more fluency with it, that, and I really am, I haven't done this before, not this particular one. What if I now just start to improvise more with it? Could you see how that's basically just playing around with the same thing, not being as rigid about it? Again, slowly at your thinking speed where you can figure out ideas and be in time. Very, very important. So that's one way to do it. Maybe another way to do it would be to take a scale on one, a chord on the other. Now on that area I would have pretty straight dominant scales: the G7 scale, the C7 scale, the F7 scale, and the B flat 7 scale. In other words, G7, C7, F7, and B flat 7. Okay, now that's going to be quick, but let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. Pretty good, I like it. So let's do that. We've got the G7 scale going up. Takes us to the 9 of C7. And by the way, why are natural 9s good on these? Because a rule that I have for myself is if the dominant is not going home, and for me home is down a fifth but to major or minor. So although G7 goes down a fifth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to C, it's not going to major or minor, right? So that's the distinction for me. It must go to major or minor. Otherwise, the natural 9 seems to work better, right? I've got videos and all kinds of stuff on that, so I won't go into too much depth on it. But what did we have? Let's see. G7 up. Chord notes on the C7, right? Down from the 9. Same on F7. Now, what if I cut off the first note? Okay, that's not bad. That's a thing to practice. Maybe if I change this one, instead of make it like that, right? Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 on F7, make it 1, 2, 3, 6, 5. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make it 1, 2, 3, 6, 5. Now we have. And that's one way, or a couple of ways, to handle these quick changes. That's another one. See what happened? We've got a half step under the third of G7. And this is the time. 1, 2, 3, and 4 triplet 1. A surround or enclosure, a half step surround, right? Of the third of C. How would this one be? There we go. C7, F7, B flat 7. Right, so let me recap the one. I went a bit quick on that. So the 9 of G. The surround of the third of C7. Can jump to the root just because it sounds nice. And then the 9 of F, so the same pattern. There it is. Surround the third of B flat. Let's do that in time. 1, 2, 3. When I get comfortable with it, then I'll start joining them up. With little surrounds and things like that. That's how I handle them. So there's really no particular magic there. It's always about the simple ingredients and getting some depth in them. Most students have a lot of breadth. They want to get through as much as they can on jazz skills in their first few weeks and then be all confused. That's pretty common. But if you can discipline yourself to work on a small amount of information and get really good at it, guess what? Your playing's going to improve a lot quicker. Okay? That's what we want. Hope you enjoyed that. Consider joining us on Jazz Skills, where we have a developing fluency course to teach you the language and get you fluent playing it. So it's not just academic information, and much more after that, including improvisation, voicings, movements, rhythm, accompanying, support from me and a vibrant community. You name it, we've got it. Take care. Bye for now.